Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Asad Yaqub, and in this short video, even I don't know it's going to be short or long. In this short video, I'm going to tell you how to attend your IELTS speaking actual exam. Okay. Well guys, your speaking test is usually conducted within 7 days before your listening, reading, writing, or after your listening, reading, writing. So 7 days. If your listening, reading, writing is on 20th, so it can start from 13th and until 27th. So any day they can tell you about it, and even you can set the day of your speaking test as per your convenience. Sometimes they give you that timetable and you can adjust yourselves there and all that. Now basically, students are very nervous because IELTS speaking test is one-on-one exam. There is the examiner, there you are as a candidate, you are actually locked, not actually locked, but you are locked into a room with the examiner, and at times when you have an interview like this, the students start shivering and they are, they have cold sweats and all that, right? The first thing is, let me tell you, examiners are going to calm your nerves. It doesn't mean they will massage your head, okay, but it means examiners are going to calm your nerves by giving you more confidence. Okay, I just give you one example. Here in Lahore, we've got British Council and IDP. So whenever the students go to take their IELTS test, the invigilators, like I know one IEO, Australian Education Office, they've got very peaceful office atmosphere. And first, when you go there, they have some sofas and there is that reception. So you sit down on the sofas. It's IDP actually. You sit the IDP AEO, Australian Education Office, subsidiary of IDP. So they sit down on the sofas. They do have water facility. They do have washroom facility. Okay, even if students come before time, they sit down there, relax. And then after that, when they start their speaking test, so students are already familiar with the environment, they usually perform better. In speaking part 1, before starting the test, examiner is going to check your ID and make sure you have your ID. One of my Indian students, he forgot his passport and he went to his speaking test without passport. And then they sent him back home without passport, and later on they rescheduled his test actually, but otherwise they don't. Don't be this much careless that you go to take your IELTS test without ID card or without passport. Anyways, now after checking your documents, everything, examiner is going to pose the test. I would say acting and posing and all that. There will be the recording device, and examiner is going to examiner is going to record your test, and this is for EOR. This is for their portal, for their record, so that if anybody applies for EOR, they can listen to the test again and give you the bench score. Now, what happens after pressing the button? Examiner will say, my name is Asad Yaqub, and today it is 5th of March 2022 and it is 2:30 p.m. Candidate name is Kamran Lashari. ID number is, candidate number is this, and now we are going to start the test. And then the first question examiner is going to ask you, that is going to put you into a certain category. For example, the question is, do you work or study? And there are 3 possible answers. If we look at IELTS test takers, there are 3 possible answers. Possible answer number 1, I am a student, and try to answer this question in 2 sentences. I am a student and at the moment I am studying in University of ABC. Right? So this is first possible answer. Second possible answer, I am a banker and at the moment I am working with National Bank of Pakistan. Like that. And the third possibility is, I am a homemaker and I stay home and take care of my family throughout the day. So these are 3 possible answers, and basically they are 3 possible categories. Examiner is going to ask you further questions, keeping in view that you are either a student, or you are a professional, or you are a housewife. So tell them clearly And this question should be answered briefly, only in 2 sentences. Some students take it as an opportunity. Do you work or study? Different people do different things. Some people study and some people do different jobs. On the other hand, housewives stay at home and they take care of their babies. As far as I am concerned, I'm a student. No, not like this. I mean, 2 sentence answer, I am a student and at the moment I am pursuing a degree in the local university here in Lahore. That's it. Examiner just wants to know whether you are category A, category B or category C. After that, examiner will ask you more questions. Now in part 1 and part 3, if you do not understand the question, you have a right to ask the examiner to ask you the question again. At this point, if examiner changes the question, instead of repeating the question, that is absolutely normal. Because IELTS speaking test is not your IELTS listening test. Okay, yes, I mean, it's just simple thing. So, they will ask you 5 to 8 questions, sometimes 10 to 15 questions. It depends on your answer. As I mentioned in my speaking videos, try to answer using this 3-step formula. Sentence number 1, because they will ask you the questions in interrogative sentences. So you should answer converting those interrogative sentences into positive sentences. For example, I wake up early in the morning. What is interrogative? Do you wake up early in the morning? So try to convert the interrogative sentences of the examiner into the positive sentences, and while doing so, do 2 things. Number 1, use synonyms. Number 2, make a compound sentence as the first sentence of your answer. If you don't know how to make a compound sentence where you are watching my video, just on YouTube you can type English compound sentences. Watch a 10-minute video and you'll be crystal clear how to make compound sentences. So part 1 will go on. Never give yes/no answer. They ask you a question, do you watch movies? Yes. Do you listen to music? No. Okay, not like this, because these questions will irritate the examiner. And do not repeat the question after the examiner. Examiner asks you a question. What is your favorite place in your hometown? And you say, what is your favorite place in your hometown? My favorite place in my hometown is like that. Okay, don't repeat the question of the examiner. Okay, don't repeat any wording from the question. Okay, don't ask the examiner to change the question. Don't argue with the examiner. Don't tell the examiner. And if examiner says thank you, don't say wait. Don't say wait, let me speak, me IELTS 9 band, okay, please, yeah. Not like this, okay. Let the examiner do examiner's job, right? Let her do the job and you're just there to answer the questions. Once part 1 is over, you'll move on to part 2. Examiner will give you the topic, paper, pen, 1 minute time to read the topic, write down some notes. Spend that 1 minute reading, understanding the topic and writing down some notes. My separate videos are available on that. Now, before you finish cue card, I mean, if you have not finished the cue card, don't hand over the topic and pen and paper to the examiner. As you speak, topic should be in front of you, pen and paper should be in front of you, and you should go on and you can take a look at the topic, cue card, you can take a look at your notes, and the pencil is in your hand at the same time. For example, you have covered one point, tick that point, then move on to the next one, and while doing so, do not stop. You need to go on and on because fluency matters. There are 4 criteria for speaking. Number 1, fluency. Number 2, fluency. Number 2, pronunciation. Number 3, grammar. Number 4, vocabulary and coherence of your answer to the question. Once speaking part 2 is over, examiner will take back pen, paper, cue card from you, and then examiner will say we now move on to speaking part 3. In speaking part 3, examiner will ask you follow-up questions which are related to your speaking part 2. Now for speaking part 3, keep in mind 4 things. Number 1, they will ask you some questions where you have to give your opinion. So you should know some good phrases to express your opinion. As far as I am concerned, in my opinion, according to me, to my way of thinking, anything like that. Second, they are going to ask you some questions where you have to talk about advantages and disadvantages. What are the benefits of going to a foreign country? What are the drawbacks of living in a foreign country? So whenever they ask you a question where there are plural things, you must use signpost language. First of all, the main benefit is. Secondly, there is another plus point. And finally, then talk about another one. This is called signpost language. Use signpost language in IELTS speaking part 1, part 2 and part 3. And by the way, in part 3 and part 1, one sentence conclusion is going to bring you very good band score. How to conclude? To answer your question, my favorite university is University of London. As you have asked me, my favorite food is actually Thai food or anything like that. Okay, so the second category is assess, advantages, disadvantages. First is opinion. Then we've got the third one, comparison. And guys, you must learn some comparative graphs. By the way, IELTS speaking part 3 is for band score 7, 8, 9. So you need to go on with some comparative sentences. All right, for example, if we compare village life with city life, I think, right, or in comparison with, so you need to learn at least 4 to 5 sentences to compare past from present, present with future, comparison of two things in the present and all that stuff. So comparative structures are equally important. And finally, fourth type of question in part 3, that is what we call prediction. They might ask you some, they will ask you, not might, they will ask you some questions where you will have to predict what will happen to the global economy within 25 years. Do you think world will be a better place to live after 15 years? Do you think pollution will decrease in the next 25 years, next 20 years, 25 years? So this is what we call prediction. Now, you should know at least 3 to 4 sentences to express prediction, to express yourselves on prediction. For example, for that you can say it can be estimated, or you can say it is likely to happen, or there are chances that in the next 20 years there will be no pollution at all, something like that. So we call it prediction, and at least 3 to 4 sentence structures will give enough variety to the examiner to give you band score 7, 7.5 or 8. All the best guys, thank you very much. Now I don't know whether the video was short or long, but anyways, I have elaborated on IELTS speaking test to you, and all the information I gave you, that is equally good for you all. All the best. I also teach IELTS online all over the world and on campus here in Lahore. If you want to be the part of my online or on-campus IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub truly wishes you best of luck. Take care. Allah Hafiz.